Hi there, thanks for joining me for another episode of Total Ramblings. It's Sunday, it's 20 past 11 in the morning. I got up at 8, had some breakfast, went back to bed for a couple of hours. Lovely. Had a lovely day yesterday. And today I'm on the way to see Liz. No more news about the about how long she might be before she can come home. Essentially, I'm waiting until Tuesday to see if this lady arranges a visit to go and see her. If not, I will chase her up. Part of me feels bad for constantly hassling this lady, but at the same time, we want Liz home, right? So it's just how it is. So I was up till quite late. I've been playing a lot of Star Wars Outlaws. This isn't really a game reviewing channel, although it could be. I've done game reviews before. Part of my job when I worked for Armchair General magazine was to do game reviews. I used to get free codes for games. One of the games I reviewed was the original Evil Genius, not the Evil Genius 2 that came out a few years ago, the original one. I think I reviewed a city building game. There was some strategy games, some games even on the 3DS. Was it the 3DS or was it the... No, it was the Game Boy Advance. Had trouble getting footage off of it, I recall, for the screenshots. But anyway, I've been playing Star Wars Outlaws. Star Wars is in a bit of a rut at the moment. A lot of the Star Wars films, well, I would say apart from Rogue One and some of the cartoon kind of output, some of the series, Andor in particular, was excellent. But Mandalorian season 1 and 2, but the films, the sequels, utter trash. Under the Disney kind of regime, Star Wars has really fallen to a low. I remember back in the day, back in the old days, when I was a kid, Star Wars ruled the toy aisle. It was everywhere. Now, setting aside Lego Star Wars, I was in Smith's Toys yesterday. I didn't buy anything, I was a very good boy. And the Star Wars section, I shit you not, excuse my language, was like 9 inches wide. Less than, so 9 inches, what's that in metric? 22.5 centimetres. There was like 3 or 4 items in there. There was a Darksaber, a couple of Baby Yodas. Like, it was not even an entire block of display, right? There's a point to this. I'm coming to it. And I think that's just indicative of how Star Wars is looked at these days. Star Wars used to be this massive juggernaut of merchandising, and people couldn't get enough of it. Disney have destroyed it. The only quality output you get these days is Lego Star Wars, really. I mean, put it this way, Smiths didn't even have the Hasbro figures, right? Lego Star Wars, there's a lot of that. There is a lot of that, and a lot of it's very good, but you'll notice they don't do sequel stuff. They do stuff from spin-off shows, and they still do prequel stuff. For example, this week, the Lego Star Wars magazine is out, and it's a Clone Trooper is the free toy minifigure. I bought 4. I don't really do Clone Troopers anymore, but I bought 4, right? So prequel stuff is still common, but you don't get any sequel stuff. It just doesn't sell. As you will be aware, the main area of my Lego Star Wars collecting is in the Age of the Empire. Right, so anyway, Star Wars is in a bit of a rut, and the point I was making was that Star Wars Outlaws, this game by Ubisoft, has had a real kicking from people. And it's almost like I'm getting the impression that Star Wars fans love these days to hate Star Wars, right? No one hates Star Wars more than a Star Wars fan. It's becoming kind of a cliche. And Star Wars Outlaws came out and everybody started piling on because that's like the in thing to do, is just to have a go. They're all saying it's the same as any other Ubisoft game, blah, blah, blah. I don't play many Ubisoft games, so I don't know. But I am really having a blast with Star Wars Outlaws. I think it's brilliant. Is it perfect? No, but it's pretty good, right? So there's a strong stealth aspect to it. You have to do lots of sneaky, which is right because you are a criminal, right? You're a criminal operating during the time of the Empire. The story is set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So the Death Star's been destroyed, the Rebels have been routed on Hoth, but we've yet to have the final battle with the second Death Star and the Emperor, right? So we're in peak Imperial paranoia time. We've got all these criminal syndicates that you have to do kind of favors for, that you have to work for, and you get kind of rewards based on how well in favor you are with them. So you kind of start off with all of them at a sort of poor relationship. You can go to bad, you can go to terrible. When you go to terrible, I was terrible. I was enjoying annoying the Pikes, which is a criminal syndicate, and they were sending hit squad after me. They were so determined to try and kill me that they were sending speeder gangs after me on Imperial territory, which is restricted, right? Eventually it got quite annoying, not because I couldn't handle them, but it's just like, hey, I'm trying to do a job here. So I ended up sneaking back into their base on Miragana City on the planet Tashara, which is a beautiful planet, by the way, in the game, and winning a Sabak game, which is a card game, just so that I could increase my reputation with them, so to get them off my back. Because they were like, oh, you're good at Sabak. Okay, you're not that bad. Weird. Anyway, that's how it works. It does make sense in the context of the game, kind of, right? And then I started doing jobs for them, and now I've maxed out my reputation and got all the rewards from them. But anyway, right? So you are an outlaw. You play a lady called Kay Vess. She's grown up on the streets of Canto Bight, which is the, like, Las Vegas, if you like, of Star Wars, I suppose. And basically, there's like 4 planets you can go to. There's all open world. They say it's the first open world Star Wars game. It's not. There was a little game called Star Wars Galaxies a long time ago, which was like massive. I never played it. I think I was reproducing children at the time, and I've got this kind of cultural gap in like the early sort of 2000s where like certain things don't quite resonate with me because I was too busy raising children at the time. And then I kind of, so I've got this weird kind of 4, 5, 6 year cultural gap. It's weird. Anyway, right, what was I going to say? Like, for example, the Mighty Boosh, right? I think the Mighty Boosh came out around that time. I've never seen it, right? And I'm well into like UK comedy and stuff. Anyway, right, the point is, but people have been piling in on the Star Wars Outlaws, basically saying it's utter trash, blah, blah, blah. Ubisoft shares allegedly have tanked because of this. And I feel really bad for the dev team because I'm absolutely having a blast playing this game. There's so much to it. I was trying to sort of finish off some quests on the planet Tashara last night. I was trying to maximize my rep with the Pikes. I was trying to upgrade my speeder bike so that I could make some massive jumps to get some bits of treasure that I couldn't reach otherwise without having this extra boost capability. And I was still finding areas, not just the areas that I couldn't boost to, but I was still finding general areas like caves and things that I'd never come across, right? It's huge. And I'm really enjoying it. And like, there's also little mini games in there. So there's like a rhythm game where if you want to sort of break a lock, you have to use a data spike and you kind of like have to match the flashing of the lights. It got a little bit annoying quite quickly, so I've switched that off. You've still got to crack the lock, but you don't have to worry about the mini game anymore. And there's another mini game for slicing, which is hacking, which is basically for hacking computers, where you have to kind of like get symbols in a certain order. It's a bit like Wordle. That got very annoying very quickly, so I've turned that off as well. But the main game is brilliant. There's also another little mini game. Like basically, you can go to one of the cities. There's like a major city in the playable areas of each of the 4 planets, right? There's 5 planets, but Canto Bight is kind of like a prologue kind of planet, and there's not much to it. And basically you can go and you can find like food vendors, and you have this little character that lives with you called Nix, and he's like a little animal with feelers, and he can like go and rob stuff for you, or distract troopers for you, or attack people for you, or, you know, do stuff to help you distract the enemy so you can sneak past. And in these little mini games you can order certain types of food, and there's like these really fantastically animated sequences where your character Cave S and Nix are eating food together and just having fun, being friends, eating food. And when you eat the food with your character, it gives your character a new ability. So like now he can distract multiple enemies at once, or now he can kick grenades away from you, you know. And it's like, it's cool, right? It's really, and they're like, the amount of care and attention that's kind of got into this. The planet Tashara is beautiful. The planet Tatooine that I'm currently on, which of course is run by the Hutts, another criminal cartel, so that's going to feature heavily. In previous, Star Wars keeps going back to Tatooine, right? Even though it's meant to be this backwater planet that nobody cares about, it's probably the most visited. It's definitely the most visited planet in Star Wars. But there's a reason for it here, because the planet Tatooine is, certainly in the age of the Republic, pre-Empire, is in Hutt space. It's owned and run by the Hutts, right? So you can expect to spend a lot of time on a planet that's essentially run by criminals. The only cartel on Tatooine that you can favour with is the Hutts. Admittedly, the Empire's there, but you can't curry favour with the Empire. So there's like a wanted system. If you piss off the Empire too much, you'll end up getting TIE fighters and Death Troopers and stuff after you. You can never curry favour with the Empire. There are like corrupt officers that you can kind of buy off to remove your wanted status and stuff, but they're not. You can't do missions and stuff for the Empire. It's only these criminal cartels that you can do missions for. But look, the point is, you can tell I'm quite enthusiastic about this game. I just kind of like existing in this universe. You know, you can upgrade your spaceship, you can upgrade your speeder, you can upgrade your own abilities, you can get sets of clothing that will give you certain advantages. So I like to do lots of sneaky, which you have to. You won't be able to fight your way through an Imperial base. So I kind of have clothing that reduces detection, etc., and you can carry charms and you can upgrade your blaster. There's so much to do. There's so many sort of collectibles and stuff, but it all makes sense in the aim of the game. There's like, it's like caches of treasure and smuggler loot that you can find that all make sense. So basically the point is that people are piling in. Star Wars fans love to hate on Star Wars, and it's fashionable. And it's like, oh, the new Star Wars thing's coming out, let's all pile in. And I didn't pre-order this game. Boys and girls, you should never pre-order games because you never know what you're going to get. I bought the game having seen lots of reviews. Many of the reviews were negative, but I looked at the footage and I looked at the gameplay and I thought, this looks cool. And I knew what I was getting into, and I bought it. And they've patched it since, and even before they patched it, I didn't have a problem with it. I honestly don't know what people's problem is with this game and why they're piling in. Well, I do know why they're piling in, because as I say, because it's fashionable to pile in. It's fashionable to hate on Star Wars. And I think it's a real shame for the developers. You've obviously put a lot of time, care and attention into this, and I am really enjoying it. And I was up till about 2 o'clock last night playing it. And that says a lot, right? Since Liz has been in hospital, I've hardly been gaming at all, and I've been playing this a lot now that she's kind of out of the danger zone and we're kind of in this just waiting for her to come home kind of thing. And it's really fun. I'm enjoying it. I've had a couple of crashes, nothing major. A couple of frustrating bits, but you got over them. I got over them, not you. Although you might have done. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. So yesterday I played a lot of that. I visited the vault to make sure the vault was secure, dropped off some manuals, instruction manuals for my most recent Lego reviews. Went to home base. sorted out all my pills for the next month. I'm on quite a lot of pills. Slept a lot. You know, just had a cool time. And today is Sunday, off to see Liz. I'll probably spend 5 or 6 hours with Liz. Go home, might play some more Star Wars Outlaws tonight. There's nothing at the house that needs doing. But, yeah. So look, if you want to treat this as a game review, by all means do so. But I'm enjoying Star Wars Outlaws a lot. I think it's brilliant. I love it. I love Star Wars. Most Star Wars. Disney Star Wars, like I said. But let's not get into that again. Play Star Wars Outlaws, it's really cool. I'm playing on the PS5, by the way, if that makes any difference to anybody. Say hello to the boys and girls.
Hello, boys and girls.
Tell the boys and girls what you've been doing.
Hydro on Friday.
Did you drown?
Yes.
Oh, you got better though.
No, I was rescued.
So you didn't drown?
I was drowning.
Drowning means you died.
Well, I've died twice this year anyway.
Well, once was last year.
In the last 12 months.
Correct. I'll let you have that. Tomorrow is 9 months exactly since this all started. How does that make you feel?
Depressed.
What have I just done to you in the room?
Killed me.
What have I just done to you in the room?
Changed my water.
Yeah,
Changed my dressing.
yeah,
Did a suction.
yeah. And then you had a major coughing fit.
I always have a coughing fit when somebody... Jackie.
And why have you got hydro on Monday now?
Because no...
No? Do you want to go back?
No, because somebody's being discharged on Friday and there isn't anybody else having a hydro on Friday. It would just be me.
Okay.
And if I had hydro on Friday, it wouldn't be with my usual physios
Oh, okay.
that I have hydro with.
Fair
It would
enough.
be different ones. And I like the two that I have hydro with normally because they're funny.
And I'm not going to see you until Thursday because I'm in Nodnall on Tuesday
You are.
for work.
And I've got this nasty cough.
You have? Is that because of the stuff I was doing?
I've been coughing for a week now, more than a week.
You got a new infection?
I hope not.
Okay.
But I'm holding my peg site when I cough
Yeah.
to ease the pain as well, because that's painful. Where somebody was a bit heavy-handed cleaning it the other day.
Me? Who?
A nurse.
Yeah.
She was very heavy-handed and wasn't gentle with it.
Tell the boys and girls what you said about the size of my hands.
They're big.
And what else did you say?
I don't know.
You said I was very gentle.
For the size of your hands, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See,
Well,
I do try.
bearing in mind the nurse who wasn't very gentle has got quite small hands anyway, and there was no need for her to be doing what she was doing. But then she doesn't do it the same as everybody else anyway. When she does my dressing, she uses a whole piece of dressing in a square rather than folding it out and putting it in a rectangle and going from one end to the other, which is how they've been showing people to do it, or showing you how to do it anyway. She does it with a whole square.
Put that gunky bit in the bin.
Yeah.
Did you?
I didn't know.
Who did? I didn't.
Well, somebody took it off my legs.
Okay.
Probably Chitana.
Okay.
She's nice.
They are mostly nice.
Yes. Just the one who's heavy-handed, who was heavy-handed with my trachea and my rig.
And called it a stoma.
Yeah.
But it's not.
No.
That's a bag, isn't it?
Yeah.
You haven't got a bag.
No, I did tell her it wasn't a stoma. It was a peg, or actually, to be accurate, it's a rig.
Correct.
You know. I said it's not a stoma. Don't think she appreciated that, but you know. But then she was just about to fiddle with it anyway, and used a whole piece of gauze around it, and moved it. And she's the one who puts medicine in and shakes it. She plugs it in and then goes. Psh.
And what have we just started watching on the telly?
Only Murders in the Building season 4.
Yeah, we like that, don't we?
Yes.
We've watched one. We're going to watch
Magpie
another
up
one
there.
when we go back.
Yeah.
We're going to the balcony in a minute for a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's cold out here.
It's not. It's just that there's no sun here.
I've got no legs on, so I'm cold.
Okay. Say goodbye to the boys and girls.
Goodbye, boys and girls. There's still a magpie up there. Some trees behind the very big tree there. I can only see one though.
Homeward bound now. It's about 6:30. I'm coming up to the second roundabout of death. The first roundabout of death is junction 7 of the M3. And I've had 2 black cars written off on that roundabout of death. The first one was in January, probably 2006, no, 7, 8, something like. And basically I was coming off the roundabout, and there's a gritting station 200 yards up the road from the roundabout, and they'd gritted the motorway and they'd gritted all the other roads, but they hadn't gritted the roundabout. I was going around very slowly, and I just did a complete 360 and hit a sign and wrote off my Citroen C3, which I'd had from new. That said, not a bad thing to happen, because that car was a fucking piece of shit. Boys and girls, never buy a Citroen or any French car. They can't handle electrics. The second black car I had written off was my Ford Focus Saloon, which a Nissan Navara just twatted me in the back and shortened it by 6 inches. That event directly led to my second nervous breakdown, and I ended up having counselling, and that's when I took my someone to court for some historic abuses. So, you know, every cloud, I suppose, maybe, don't know. This roundabout of death, why is it a roundabout of death? Well, because basically when I turn right off this road, which is the A3 by Liss, there is no lane for right-hand traffic to get into. You literally have to kind of do a dog leg to get into lane. There is no lane. And a couple of weeks ago I was driving back with Alice, and a woman in an Audi nearly T-boned me. Beeped me, like, I mean, she wanted to turn off. She was in the wrong frickin' lane, I'll tell you that much. But anyway, this lane is the second roundabout of death. My last car was a black car, and we managed to get through that black car without it dying, although the neighbour over the road did reverse into it once and twat it, and I also hit a parking pillar with it once. But at least it wasn't on the roundabout of death. So we're now navigating the second roundabout of death. Maybe I should instead call it the roundabout of doom to differentiate it. But here, I've got no lane to hook into. I basically have to do a side swipe. I have to basically drive sideways to get into a lane that doesn't fucking exist for me, and with the potential for hitting somebody as they come off. So it's horrible. I am going to find the person that designed that roundabout, and I'm going to make them drive it for eternity. I'm going to basically send them on a never-ending circular journey of doom, because I'm quite vindictive like that, really. I'm also quite tired, so I'm rambling to try and keep myself awake. Now travelling through a little village called Greatham, I don't know how the frig you pronounce some of these places. Whichever way I say it, it'll be wrong. Yeah, so, there we go. It'll be just gone 7 by the time I get home. I let the pussycats out this morning. I had my breakfast at 8 o'clock, opened the back door, let them out. Well, opened the back door so they could go out, knowing they'd be in the house all day. Went back to bed for a couple of hours, woke up, and they're both just sat with me, which is nice, don't get me wrong, but guys, come on, go outside. You're going to be locked in the house all day. Well, until I get home anyway. So, haven't heard back from the nuns yet about flying my drone over the hospital, so that's probably a no. I wrote to the CEO and the nuns who own the place to say, look, I'm not trying to get people in the shot. I just like to fly my drone, and no reply at all. I packed my drones just in case, 2 of them anyway. But yeah, so that didn't happen. Yeah, so I guess that's kind of it for today, really. The end of another weekend. I always feel very melancholy at the end of another weekend. I try and cram as much as I can to my weekends, in terms of doing videos or catching up with sleep or doing whatever I want to, really. Back at work tomorrow. I mean, I'm only going to be at home, but Tuesday I'm in London. I've got meetings all day at Canary Wharf, so I won't be able to see Liz again until Thursday. So there you go, unfortunately. I'm probably going to be quiet now and call an end to this episode of Total Rambling. So I'd like to say thanks very much for watching. Thanks for taking an interest. See you for another episode, hopefully. Bye. If you enjoy what I do here, although I can't think why, please remember to click the like button, smash that subscribe button, and hit the bell icon to be notified whenever I post a new video. You might also want to check out my website, www.worldsbestestpoet.com, if you fancy a laugh.